it'd be hard for me to find a way to frame this as good for the Bundesliga, despite the fact that it's good for the Bundesliga that Bayern Munich will not be getting him. I can completely concur with that because I just want to touch on that. Like this is the level of player that we're talking about, isn't it? Like he deserves to be in. Listen, no comparison because they're not the same player, but he deserves to be in conversations with the likes of a Robert Lewandowski. I was thinking as you were sort of talking through then and saying, he's not going to be, he's not going to be the star of the team at Bayern Munich. Well, Liverpool have a couple of stars in their team, but I guess the sort of young, up and coming star is a role that's kind of still yet to be fulfilled. I mean, Ryan Gravenberch's had a brilliant season, won Young Player of the Season. Alexi McAllister, I would still argue, fits just about into the players I still think have lots of potential because he's not quite at his peak yet. And there are a couple of others sort of around the fringes there, but make no mistake, if Florian Wirtz was to come to Liverpool, if this move does get done, as it's looking likely that it will, this is going to be like a generational level signing for Liverpool.
I live near to a fire station. That's why you can hear a siren in the background, first of all. The whole thing with who being the star, that comes down, I think, to where you play on the pitch as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And Gravenberch and McAllister, as good as they can be, when you are in the position that Florian Wirtz is, which is just swimming in the number 10 creative hole generally and doing whatever he pleases because he's that good, then you are more likely to take the plaudits. Is he that good? To answer your question, I think he is. We have had a few players who have had brilliant Bundesliga seasons and then moved to the Premier League in the past decade. I think of Henrik Mkhitaryan. I think of Kevin De Bruyne, Christopher Nkunku. Now, one of those three has shaped the league in the last decade. And the other two, I mean, I cannot tell you how good a footballer I think Christopher Nkunku is and how misused and unfortunate he was that he arrived at Chelsea at the same time as Cole Palmer. And similarly, it's all about the context within which you are placed. Florian Wirtz has the ability to be Kevin De Bruyne, 100%. But when I talk about ability, a lot of the time I think, we can, in this age of goals, assists, highlight skills, YouTube videos, you think, okay, that's what it's about. The point is about decision making. That is what makes world class, not look at this fancy trick that I can pull for the 14th time in a row. And that's one of the things that watching Florian Wirtz live has been really impressed upon me, is the timing of when to use the tools in his Swiss Army knife makes him sound limited. It's a very flashy, bougie Swiss Army knife. If we are to carry on down that road, as you can see by my face, I'm not comfortable with it, but I'm struggling to find anything else. So here we go. Whether he needs to pull off a dribble, or he just sees that a teammate is in a better position than him, or he recognizes that it would probably benefit the team if he was to slow the game down a little bit. Usually he'd need a little bit of an instruction from Xabi Alonso on that, who is always keen on no hectic, is generally the things that he would talk about in interviews. But yeah, Wirtz has the ability to find the right option, and if he's placed in front of goal, he's got everything in his locker to, whether he needs to slide it under the goalkeeper, whether he's going to chip it over the goalkeeper, if he wants to find a 30-yard screamer. There is little that I've not seen Florian Wirtz do now in the past two seasons. And this all comes off the back as well of a guy who did his ACL some 3 years ago now, when he was 18 at the time, and coming back from that kind of injury at that age is not straightforward. It's not a given. So that he has even reached this stage now where he will be sold for over £100 million to one of the biggest clubs in world football is an achievement in itself. And yeah, it's exciting to think what if you are of a Liverpool persuasion, I think it's exciting to think what could happen, albeit I would still say tranquilo. Let's because it's a first time in an environment that he will not be used to. Leverkusen is not the pressure cooker that Liverpool and the Premier League is when it comes to the soap opera as well. It's a very different, controlled environment where if he doesn't want to do interviews, he can be sheltered away, and he has been well looked after in that regard. But yeah, there are other elements in that sense to get into.